So what's going on YouTube? Calvin coming at you from NWD229. And I thought about something I wanted to talk to y'all about. Basically, when I got my M3, if you're anything like me, you're going to research the car to death before you get it, and then you're going to research it to death after you got it just to see what else you can do to it. I figured I'd make kind of an FAQ for you guys. And so basically what I did was I kind of went through the forums, thought about all the things that I would generally ask before I got the car, thought about things that I searched when I got the car, and just kind of made a list of them. And I'm going to kind of go through them each one at a time and just tell y'all what I found in my research and from owning the car. I think the most frequently asked question I saw on the forums was, which tune should I get? So your main players in the tune of the E92 M3, you have ESS, BPM, I think I remember Active Auto Works having one. Gentani, I don't know if I'm saying it right, probably Gentani. Gentani has one, and then Dynan has one. At the time when the cars were released, Dynan was a good way to go because they offered a warranty that matched the brand new car warranty that you got. So that was a good way to go, kind of like Audi did with Stasis for a little while before they went out of business. But as far as the rest of the tunes go, I feel like go with the one that offers you the best customer service, because I've ridden in a couple cars with the different tunes and I couldn't tell a difference in them. And I've talked to a couple of pretty reliable sources and they told me the differences in the tunes are very hard to determine. I don't think you're really going to find much of a difference. I say go with whichever company makes you feel best. Me personally, I will not say which company it is, but one of those companies, I did not like the customer service I dealt with from them, so that was the reason I didn't go with theirs. I actually have the tune from Alex at Alpine. He doesn't advertise his tune. He does the dual clutch transmission tune that a lot of people know a little bit about, but that a lot of people don't know he has a motor tune. I personally have that tune and I love it. I mean, I haven't had a single issue with it. It feels just like the ESS tunes, BPM tunes I've ridden in. He doesn't offer a lot of the gimmicks like the overrun and stuff like that, but I mean, I don't really want that anyway. Next question I saw was, is the car reliable? So I haven't had any issues out of it. I got the car with 30,000 miles and now has 66,000 miles on it. And the only issue I really had to talk about is throttle actuators. Those went out right at about 60,000 miles. And if you read through the forums, you'll see that's a pretty common issue with this car. The repair of that, I think, runs you about $1,500 to $2,000, if I'm not mistaken. My car is under warranty, so they covered that. Another issue I see sometimes is the idle control valve. That usually goes around 60,000. Pretty easy fix. What'll happen is your car start idling real rough, or some people have even experienced limp mode from it. I've seen a couple issues of dual clutch transmission leaks. Usually it's nothing major. Usually it's something you kind of find if you go under the car and take something apart. That's the issue I see. BMW generally fixes that without much hassle. I think they've even fixed that for some people outside of warranty, so that's nothing I would be too worried about. Just kind of keep your eye on it, you know, if the car starts acting weird, or just kind of periodically, I mean, go under the car and just take that cover off and just check it out. But other than that, I haven't really had many issues with the car that I can talk about. And even from searching it, I haven't seen many issues. There's a rod bearing issue that you hear about, but I really think it's blown out of proportion because I don't know anybody personally who owns E92 that's had rod bearing issues. I've just seen the handful of guys on the forums who have had them, and the even bigger handful that are paranoid about them. The next issue I saw was between dyno and mods. Like, what type of mods should I get? What does the car dyno stock form? What will it dyno with the mods? What type of quarter mile times can I expect, etc., etc. So some people may know BMWs are notoriously difficult to dyno. But this car, when I saw the dyno results, they range anywhere from 330 to 380 in stock form. Like I said, they're hard to dyno. It's hard to say what's what, but we're just going to say 350, 360. When you do the mods, and the main mods that I've seen done as far as bolt-ons are, you got your underdrive pulleys, you've got your intake filter or intake, and you've got your exhaust. Now, the biggest bang for the buck, in my opinion, is going to be the exhaust, because if you go and do the X-pipe or just do test pipes on the front, cut out the primary cats, you gain a pretty big horsepower bump. I think it's like 15 to 20 horsepower. With the tune, you're talking about maybe 25, 30 horsepower. Then there's the underdrive pulleys. Me personally, I didn't do underdrive pulleys. The gain is maybe 5 to 10 horsepower, and the purpose of them basically is they underdrive the other electronics in the car to give you more power at full throttle. I don't think it's that serious. I don't want to underdrive anything in my car because I didn't buy it strictly for full throttle action. And then as far as the intake filters go, you'll see a lot of debate on whether you should get an intake or an intake filter. I personally went with intake filter because I feel like the intake design is pretty ridiculous already. So there's really no reason, there's really no way anybody's going to improve upon what BMW did with that intake design. With the mods, the best you can hope to see is 400 and something wheel horsepower, maybe 405, 411. I think is the highest I've seen. Don't expect any ridiculous numbers from bolt-ons. It's a naturally aspirated motor. Tunes, bolt-ons don't really give you much in the way of horsepower, but you can really feel it, because I've seen some YouTube videos where they ran a stock one versus a tuned one with a couple mods, and it's a big difference in the way those things pull, especially up top. So I think it's worth it. My car in stock form, well, I had the rear exhaust on it. My car did a 12.5 at 112 and a quarter mile. I haven't got a chance to track it since I've done the rest of the mods, but the best times I've seen have dropped into the 11s. That's with, I think, 100 octane fuel, a good tune. I think they did do underdrive pulleys and, you know, good weather. My car, when I did that run, it was 98 degrees outside, so I'm pretty sure I probably could have done even better than that. Next thing I saw, should I get the competition package or no? So the competition package essentially is a 20 millimeter drop and 19-inch wheels. And in a lot of forms, it came with the carbon fiber roof. Me personally, I chose to go with the sunroof option, because there is a way you can check the sunroof option even with the competition package. I chose to go with the sunroof simply because I'm not tracking the car every day. I enjoy my sunroof much more than I would the carbon fiber. Most people enjoy the carbon fiber. That's just personal preference. Would I go with competition package? It depends on you, really. I went with it simply because it looks better. The wheels are amazing. They're some of the best stock wheels you can get on a car, period. The drop looks, it's not really noticeable, but it's subtly there, like you can kind of tell it's there. But performance-wise, is it noticeable? Only at the limit, in my opinion. At the very limit, you can tell, oh, the competition package is, yeah, it's a little bit better. Also, mine came with the M Sport button that has the EDC controls and all that stuff. The EDC controls, to me, are one of my favorite things about this car, because you can really tell a difference from comfort mode to sport mode. There's a huge difference, and the car handles like almost like it changed personality, like the car is bipolar. I think that's a really good addition. I do think, and I think you can get that without competition package, so that would be a suggestion I would say get. As far as competition package goes, if you plan on lowering the car and getting wheels anyway, skip it. Another thing I look for in the car, and this may not be something that people look at as often as me, is Bluetooth. Does the car have Bluetooth? All of them had Bluetooth, but as far as listening to Bluetooth audio, that was something that came out in the 2011.5 issue when they changed the COM box or something. I would have to look at that again to see exactly what it is. But basically, late 2011 models and forward all had Bluetooth audio, and that was mandatory for me because I don't like auxiliary cords. I don't do any of that type of stuff, so I had to have the Bluetooth audio option in my car. I also see the question about how often to change the oil. Me personally, I change my oil every 7,000 miles. BMW recommends every 15,000 miles. I just kind of went in the middle of that. I've seen guys that changes every 3,000. I've seen them change it every 5,000. I've seen them change it every 10,000. I haven't had any issues changing it every 7,000 to 7,500 miles. No issues whatsoever. I've run the oil analysis. I haven't had any issues there. So I say run 7,500. I wouldn't go to 15,000, especially if you drive the car hard, which you have to because it's an M3. But I also wouldn't go as drastic as to say every 3,000 miles either. Should you supercharge it? Is the next question I've seen pretty often. And I haven't gotten a chance to ride in a supercharged one, but from what I read, a lot of guys seem to come back. They'll go supercharged. They may go the big 750 kit or they may go 550, but they always seem to come back. And the reasoning is essentially that the car feels better in naturally aspirated form. Car handles better. It just feels more natural. Feels more fun. Supercharged is probably ridiculously fast. Probably has the power that you would like, because the car does feel a little heavy sometimes. So probably the power that you would like to fix that issue. But me personally, I don't plan on going supercharged in this car. I'm already at 66,000 miles. I probably won't be in the car much longer, to be honest with you. So I don't see me going supercharged in the car. Last thing I want to talk to y'all about is kind of explain the M mode to people, because this was something that for some reason dealerships couldn't explain to me, and I don't have the most comprehensive knowledge on it, but I'm going to kind of try to explain it to y'all, so bear with me a little bit, okay? So what you have here are your power, EDC, and traction control buttons here, and then this changes your shift timing. So your power button changes your throttle response. There's actually, if you go into the screen up here, you can actually change it to a even more aggressive mode. But the power button changes the throttle response. So whereas the half throttle would be at a certain point in one mode, it would be a totally different reaction from the car in a different mode. EDC is what I mentioned earlier. That's your damping control. Of course, traction control off if you want to do crazy stuff. I don't think I need to explain that one to you. This is one that I had a little issue with when I first got the car, because what happens is this. So I don't know if y'all can see that, but so if you look here, right, what you're looking at is I'm in first gear, pull it down, go to second, whatever you need to do. So look at those bars beside it. Now those basically change how fast the car shifts when you pull the lever or the pedal, however way you choose to do it. Now for me personally, I just leave it in 5 because that gives you the rev match downshifts. It does that in option 4 and 5. You get rev match downshift. 3 and down, you get a slower shift. You don't get rev match downshifts on either of those options. So look here. If I have it in the manual shifting mode, right, there are 5 bars. Now to do launch control, you have to be in S6. So how do you get into S6? That was the hardest thing for me to figure out. You have to turn traction control off. Hold that down until you see DSC off, and then your 6 bar pops up. You do that. In order to engage launch control, you have it in S6 mode. You're gonna take this, hold it forward, and hold the gas. You see, you get that checkered flag come up. I'm in launch control mode right now. It's that simple. People make it sound like it's hard. It's really not. You let that pedal, you let that lever go, car takes off. Launch control works really well in this car. I've even got it to hook up on some pretty crappy roads. So I do recommend trying that if you do decide to get an E92 M3. So basically, guys, that's just a few things I wanted to share with y'all about the E92 M3. Love the car. I really think you should buy one. Those are some questions I had before I got it and after I got it. So maybe I was able to help you out with some things that you were wondering about. This has been Calvin from NWD229.
It's for